Hello, welcome to Cafdil Lessons.
Hello, my lovely learners. You are welcome to today's lesson. Your math facilitator. Today's math is on the topic numbers. This is our first lesson on numbers, and it will be for basic 5. Before we begin the lesson, let's go through the objectives for today. By the end of the lesson, you should be able to model number quantities using the multi-base material. By the end of the lesson, you should be able to model number quantities using the multi-base material. Learners, let's look at the materials that I'm talking about. With the materials, we have this. This is the units. I hope you can see from your screen. Good. This is the units. And this is the rod. The rod or the long. We have the flats. And also the block. So these are the materials that we're going to use for today's lesson. We have the units, the rod or the long, we have the flats and the block. All right, learners, let's look at something here. This is the units, and the value for this unit is 1,000. The value for the unit is 1,000. Let's look at the number of units that will occupy this long or the rod. I am putting it on it one after the other. This is our first one, our second unit, the third. I hope you are counting with me. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 of the units has occupied the space on the rod. Can you see that? So if a unit is 1,000, what do you think a rod will be? So it means we have to skip count in thousands. So we have, if this is 1,000, this one will give us 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, 10,000. So what do you think a rod will be? So you can all bear with me that a rod is 10,000. So the value for this rod or the long is 10,000. Let's look at the flats as well. This is our flats. If a unit is 1,000 and a rod is 10,000, what do you think the value of the flats will be? Let's do the demonstration and see. Now we are using the rod. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 10 of the rods or the longs have occupied the space on the flats. So learners, what do you think will be the value for the flats? Just as we did for the long, let's count and see. So this time around, we are counting in 10,000 because we said a rod is 10,000. So we are counting in 10,000. Can you move with me? Yes, let's all do it together. This is 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, 60,000, 80,000, 90. Have we missed something? Let's count it again. We still have the 10, so let's go. 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, 60,000, 70,000, 80,000, 90,000, and then 100,000. So you see, a flat is 100,000. Why? Because 10 of the rods will give us 1 flat. So the value for this flat is 100,000. And let's look at the almighty one, our block. It's over here. How many of the flats do you think will give us a block? Let's arrange it and see. This time we are doing it side by side. We have the first one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You see, it looks like the block itself. So what do you think will be the value for the block? If 10 of the flats will give us a block, what is the value for this block? Do you want us to count? All right, let's do it together. Let's bring it here, and then this time we are counting in 100,000. So let's move. 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, 400,000, 500,000, 600,000, 700,000, 800,000, 900,000. Then we move to 1 million. That is the value for the block. All right, I have it on the screen, so let's have a look at it. Yes, this is the units. The small one here is the units, and the value is 1,000. Just look on your screen, and you will see that. This is the units, and the value, 1,000. And then we have this to be the long or the rod. The long or the rod. So this is it. And what is the value? The value is 10,000. We have the third one. This is the flats. Yes, the flats. This is the name. And then the value is 100,000. 100,000. Our block is also here. This is the block. Block, and the value is 1 million. quickly copy it into your exercise book. It will serve as a guide when we move further. You have just 30 seconds to do that. And with a drawing, if you want to draw the small one, you can represent it as a small square. Small square. That will represent the unit. And then the rod will give us a shape like a rectangle that is long. And then the flats, you can make it a square, big one, a square. There's no need for you to bring the markings. Yes, your work will look scanty. So you can make it, you can draw your small, the square will come without the markings. The cube or the unit is different. Small one, that one, you have to make it small so that you can differentiate it from the flats. Okay, and then the block, you can make a cube. I hope you know how to draw a cube or a box. Yes, so you can make it like that without showing the markings. All right, we are going to use these values to model numbers using the materials over here. So model the following numbers using a multi-base material. Using the following numbers. Model the following numbers using a multi-base material. The first one, we have 312,000. 312,000. We are going to model it using the multi-base material. All right. So here we have 312,000. How are we going to do it? We have to expand this number. We have to expand it. And with expansion, you pick the first digit. What is the first digit here? It is 3. So when you pick the 3, you assume the rest of the numbers to be 0. So let's move. Okay, we have to expand this number first. We are to model the numbers, these numbers, using the multi-base materials. But the expansion will help us to model it, or it will help us to know how to use the material. So the first one, you pick the 3 and assume the rest of the digits to be zeros. Let's move. Okay, so after the 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we will have 5 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are through with the first one. Let's move to the next digit. The next digit is 1. So you write the 1 and assume the rest of the digits to be zeros. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. The 1 will have 4 zeros. Can you see that? So this is the expansion for this. So let's move to the next digit, which is the 2. And after the 2, we have 3 zeros. Let's bring it. We are through with the expansion. So with the 312,000, we will have 300,000 plus 10,000 plus 2,000. Now we can use the material, the multi-base material, to model. You have 300,000. What do you think we're going to use? Are we going to use the flats? Are we going to use the block? Are we going to use the long or the rod or the unit? So 300,000. And we know that with a multi-base material, this is the units, the rod or the long, the flats, and the block. The unit is 1,000, the rod is 10,000, the flat is 100,000, and the block is 1,000,000. So what do you think? We want to represent the 300,000 using the multi-base material. I hope you are saying we can use this. Yes, this is 100,000. So how many of the 100,000 will give us 300,000? Now, you went to a shop. The item there is 300,000. You have 100,000 notes in your pocket. How many of the 100 will give us 300,000? So in your book, quickly draw your flats. How many flats? You have 3 flats over here. So this will give us 3 flats. I want you to draw 3 flats under the 300,000. I'm also doing mine. All right, learners, this is mine. I have modeled the number over here using the multi-base material. You see, we had 300,000. So we will get 3 of the flats. 1, 2, 3. Plus, we have our 10,000 here. And a rod or a long represents the value of the rod is 10,000. So we will have 1 of the rod. A noun plus 2,000. A unit is 1,000. So it means for the 2,000, we will use 2 units. That is what I have on the screen. I hope it is as what you have in your book. That's good. I want you to do this. Model this. 234,000 using the multi-base material. Just as we did. Do your expansion. The expansion will help you to know the materials or the one that you are to use. So do the expansion first. Do the expansion. After the expansion, then you model it. So with expansion, you pick the first digit, which is 2, and assume the rest of the digits to be zeros. So the 2, how many zeros will you add? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm helping you. Though you are to try your hands on. When you are done, you bring your plus. You move to the next digit, which is 3. How many zeros? 1, 2, 3, 4. You bring it. And the last one is 4, which is having 3 zeros. I hope you are done. Now sit down and then model. Use the multi-base material to model the number. How many flats? How many longs or how many units? You have just 30 seconds to do that. The expansion has been done. I hope you had it. That's good. I want you to use the material to model it. So you have 200,000, 30,000, and then 4,000. So with the 200,000, which one are you going to use? 30,000, which one? And then the 4,000. All right. Okay. 2 flats is 200,000, and then 1 rod. Which one is the rod? The rod is here. What is the value? 10,000. And here it is 1. So we will just write 10,000. And they are saying 1 rod. So it means just 10,000. And they are saying 1 rod. So it means just one of this. So it will give us 10,000. Plus 5 units. This is the unit. The value is 1,000. So 1,000 times 5. You have 1,000, 1,000, 1,005. What will you get? Let's use the material and see. This is the units. And then 1 is 1,000. So 5 will give us. Good. The 5 is here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now let's look at the value. 1 is 1,000. So 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. So 5 units will give us 5,000. Let's write it. Okay. Now what is the value? 10,000 plus 5,000. What is the value? Quickly add it. That will give us 15,000. It will give us 15,000. So the value, or 1 rod, 5 units, will give us 15,000. I want you to do the third one. 1 block, 3 flats, and 5 units. One block, 3 flats, and 5 units. Quickly do it for me. Okay, can we do it together? 1 block. This is the block. And the value is 1 million. And they're saying 1 block. So just one of the blocks. So it's 1 million. Let's write it. So we have our 1 million plus, what is the next? 3 flats. This is our flat. 3 of this will give us 300,000. Plus, what next? We have 5 units. This is the units. 5. And that will give us 1 block, 3 flats, and then 5 units. So 5 times 1,000 will give us 5,000. All right. Now what is the value? We have 1 million plus 300,000 plus 5,000. I want you to add it for me quickly. Okay, I believe you are done. What did you get? All right, it's 1,305,000. So that is the value. 1 block, 3 flats, and 5 units. When you write the values, 1 block is 1 million, plus 3 flats will give us 300,000, plus 5 units, which is 5,000. When you arrange it vertically, you'll be able to add it well, and that will give us 1,305,000. Let's look at the last one. 4 flats, 3 longs, and 8 units. 4 flats. A flat is 100,000. So 4 of the flats will give us 400,000. Let's do it together. We have 3 longs. A long is 10,000. So 3 times 10 will give us 10,000. 3,000. 1 is 10,000. So 3 of the 10,000 will give us 30,000. And the last one, which is 8 units. The unit is here, 1,000. So 1,000 times 8 is 8,000. And that will give us arrange it vertically so that you can do it well. 400,000 plus 30,000 plus 8,000. I want you to do it for me. $400,000 plus 30,000 plus 8,000. And the last one, $632,000. I want you to copy it into your exercise book. When you are free, you do it. The first one is 241,000. You have 14,000, 368,000, and the last one, 632,000. You have to model it using the multi-base material, just as we did. Just go through your books, whatever we have done today, sit down and then go over. Because practice makes man perfect. If you don't practice, you forget. So I will urge you to do more. Okay, learners, I hope you have them in your exercise book. It's been wonderful working with you. Until we meet again, enjoy the rest of the day.